now so we get more recording in progress. Okay, this is so exciting. All right, hello everybody. This is Jonathan Herbert, and I am here for another creative conversation. Today we have Erin Parish, an artist whose work I absolutely adore, who works out of Miami, Florida, and who has a long and spiffy career. And hi, Erin, how are you? I'm not going to worry about us looking at the camera or anything like that. That's way fancy, but this is all about us. So welcome to the Creative Conversation, one of my Zoom blog thingies. All right.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this. I'm so glad that your voice is back. This is good.
My voice is back.
All right.
Yeah.
So, you know, an opener that I really like is, what are you working on now? I heard you say that you just finished a commission. Do you want to talk about the commission, or do you want to talk about what's going on? All right.
I just finished these.
They're really
Do
cool.
you see them?
Yes, I can. Yeah, they look pretty cool. You know what I'm going to do? I haven't tried this yet.
Yeah.
See if I can make so that you can share your screen, and that way, if you have anything in the computer that you feel like showing as we go along, you're welcome to. You don't have to.
I don't have anything in this computer.
Okay, not a problem.
The computer is like nearly empty.
Aha, I see. You have been working and everything's gone. That's always a good sign. So talk about, how about this? Oh, that's really beautiful. I do love your work. I fell in love with your work the minute I saw it, when I looked at your web, and also your statement on your website, which everybody needs to know is www.erinparish.com. That's ERINPARISH. Let me reaffirm, there's only one R in that, or you'll find somebody who's not Erin Parish, but is a designer somewhere. So there we have that. Tell us what we want to talk about, that commission, where it came from, what it was, who you did it for.
It was the commission for an artist, you know, art consultant, and they commissioned me to do 4 paintings in 1 month, which is not my working style at all. So I had to do a lot of it in water-based paint so that I could make the history sort of build up, because I like there to be some things that you see and you don't see, and they're covered up, and like it feels like there's a whole history underneath the final layer of the paintings.
Mm-hmm.
So they were based on a triptych that I did, and there's a lot of back and forth, as they are very specific in what they want, which is fine. Totally fine. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, my mom's like, so they tell you what to do? So you're not the artist anymore. It's like, yeah, I am. And it's a good job if you can get it, you know? I need to pay my bills. And so Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines is helping me with that.
That's right.
I have been in during COVID making these things, these balls.
Oh.
And I make them at home out of polymer clay, and I have a lot more to go because I'm gonna make this whole painting.
Wow.
Oops. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you. Can see that. I love the relief of the surface you're working on. It is that that's like a bas relief underneath the balls, right? Or is
it's just paint, just house paint.
It's deceptive. It looks like it's got depth from this video angle. Very cool.
And then there's the center. That's where everything springs from. It's a spiral with spirals coming off it, based on fractals and nature and the universe, the way the universe is created, and that fractals are ubiquitous. And I love them. They're just, it's nature's plan, not ours.
Right.
Like it doesn't have anything to do with us. And I love that. It's not, it's not based on the grid or man-made. And I spend a lot of time thinking about molecules and fractals and the way the universe is constructed. I wish that I had a verbal grasp on what's it called? Metaphysical. Is it metaphysical? Metaphysics. So then I can wow you by my science, but that's just not who I am. I just like to learn some things and then, go from there.
Yeah, I actually, just to respond to that, I happen to believe, I love Sir Francis Bacon. They did knight him, that maniac, right? The painter who painted all the, anyway, but somebody said, well, could you tell us about your painting? And in typical style, if I could fucking tell you, I wouldn't fucking have to paint it. So,
Yeah.
it's like I personally don't look for verbal explication of the work because that's what it's for. And I know that for myself, I tend not to remember a lot of stuff, but I remember that what got me about your statement, which is on your splash page, is the reference to nature, is the reference to mystery in a way. I mean, I believe that all artists who shake me have a connection to the infinite and to the mysterious that needs to be expressed in a nonverbal way. That's my own opinion. What do you think about that?
I absolutely agree. I don't enjoy artwork where I need to read a paragraph plus to get a handle on it. I don't enjoy artwork that's so insular that you have to read somebody's biography in order to get it. It should speak through the work. I mean, if it needs a lot to be written about it, aesthetically, it's probably not going on.
Right.
I'm very old school in that way. And I was brought up very old school, with my dad. My dad was a painting professor and a painter. And so, I was given oils and canvas at a very young age and painted my first oil painting, when I was 5. But it was just it wasn't genius when I was 5, but he thought it was.
So he has a better handle on it than you do, though, because he was outside and looking at. Of course, he was your dad too, so there's that. But I don't know. So okay, so you finished this commission for the cruise line, and do you have more of those in the works, or what else do you have going on?
I have this big painting, which is kind of too heavy to move right now by myself. It's about 10 feet long, and I started it during the pandemic in my living room, and now it continues on. Usually my paintings take a year, if not more, to make. So that's why this 4 paintings in 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks, was really crazy.
Was it difficult? Was it a challenge, or did you find yourself?
It was a total challenge. And I kept waiting for them to get me the deposit, which was supposed to be the day that I started working.
Mhm.
So they knew that if I didn't get the deposit, no trabajo. So,
I understand that.
so yeah, I ended up starting before I got the deposit because it was just like, I'm only screwing myself if I don't
Right.
busy on this. I need to,
If someone, and this is an art consultant with whom you have a history, correct?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that at least you knew that you would have somebody in your corner about getting you the money, and it was not just skating out onto the thinnest device alone with nobody around, right?
She knows what she wants and she keeps asking till she gets it.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of tweaking that goes on.
Oh,
She's it's a good work if you can get it, but you have to be willing to be flexible.
I
I
happen to think
mean,
that, yeah,
fine.
I take commissions of any sort as long as they jive with the work that I do now, because I can't be false to my own creativity. I would assume the same. I mean, those paintings look like your paintings. I know your paintings. They look just like your paintings. It doesn't, I wouldn't think, well, that doesn't look like Erin's. What the hell were they doing, telling her to do what? But I
Yeah.
that commissions, that when we take commissions, we are following the footsteps of Rembrandt and all the other greats, because they didn't just
Da Vinci, like he didn't just decide to paint the Mona Lisa. I bet he was commissioned and needed the cash. I mean, he made so few actual paintings. And
right.
his work was really in creating war machines, which is what he preferred. And he wouldn't often finish his commissions because he was an artist and we can be little pissers. Um,
Makes us.
and then Michelangelo, it's all commission.
I love it.
So,
I'm at this point now in my life where I just say to people, come on, it's guaranteed to go with the couch. It's fine with me. Somebody did the same thing. They wanted particular colors that weren't my palette at the time. And now I have a totally new palette because I was thoroughly inspired. You never know. I don't know. Don't you find that you never know where the thread's going to spin off in a fractal kind of a breakdown way?
well, that's what was really hard about doing the commissions is that they say they want this. And so I start working on it, but the painting takes a life of its own. So you have to follow the inspiration and the life that the painting is asking for, the work that the painting is asking for. But then it doesn't match what they want for the commission. So you have to backpedal, and, try to get a road to what their ideal is, but with enough inspiration and not just forcing the painting, because you can't just force it, it'll suck. I've tried making paintings, like, oh, why can't you make this? And I've tried. Doesn't work. I have a dealer who's always obsessed with me doing these particular paintings. I actually told him last night that I refuse to do any more ice cube tray pictures because it's so much work. The material's gotten so expensive and it's so much unhealthy exposure to resin. And I hate doing them. I mean, it's a torture. And then he always wants to change it. And
Let me ask you, I don't, ice cube painting, could you unpack that a little bit? I don't get it.
yeah, I use ice cube trays as my, and they're called to make my Kubito paintings.
Okay.
I
I need to look
I'm gonna
at
try to-
it again.
Like, here's one. See
Oh,
each.
yeah. Okay. I see.
This is a very small one.
That's very cool. I love I like you're basically doing haute relief there and with your spheres there. It's like, that's a nice thing to think of, music of the spheres, but it's also music of the cubes. I really think it's very cool. Great emotion.
Thank
Syncopated.
you.
I can hear a little Spanish in it, a little trabajo. But that's me.
Let's see if there's another one. But I told him last night, I said, listen, I'm not going to make them anymore. And he just seemed shocked that
Well,
I didn't even expect it to come out of my mouth. But
whither go life, right? Whither the gods lead us is where we go. There's no
yeah,
getting out of it. This is just, I love I really do love your work. I'm not blowing smoke.
thank you.
I've just said it to the whole huge world, about 300 and some odd people on the mailing list, maybe more soon, but but I really, and this one behind you, I mean, it was, might have been hard work for you, but boy, that's really, it's just eloquent.
Thank you.
And I think it's perfect on a cruise ship because it's got that, like the music of the deep. I feel the depth of the ocean and the little lights on the fish and things like that in there. But that's me, and somebody else can have a completely different reaction, and they're welcome to, right? Because
Mine too. Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
I love it.
So I really don't want to tell people what to think they're seeing. I
Right.
want them to come to it on their own, and it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all fine.
I
So I,
get it.
no instructions.
Cool. I think that's very cool. I actually struggle with the whole concept of the artist's statement, and I'm being told, I read somewhere not long ago that I have to be able to talk eloquently about my work. You might, they said you might think your work speaks for itself, and I'm thinking, well, it does. I just don't know if, it's not my responsibility for others to hear it. That's theirs. So that's how I look at it.
You can hear it.
I hear your work.
Yeah.
I hear it the way I hear. I mean, I just said this is where I resonate with it at the moment, through a screen, not really being able to apprehend it in person and get the whole. Because really, when we look at work on screen, one of the issues I have is, so much is done with email and emailing images and website stuff, and it really is just flat and binary. It's ones and zeros, and I don't pick up the vibe that I could in person. And doing that, I find, requires that we look at things too quickly. Do you know James Elkins? Do you know his writing? Like What Painting is a book that he wrote that is my favorite book on what painting is. It's not how to paint. I recommend. I'll text you the link. It's really cool. But now I don't know why I was saying that because of I can't remember what I was saying thing, but. By the way, these are all great visuals. I want to take stills of these of you in your frame there. It's like I just started to go boom, boom. There. Ha, got it. I'll send it to you. So let's see now. Anything else coming on?
I've been offered a show at my gallery in New York for July and August. I suggested that I do it with another artist whose name I can't remember because I can't remember a lot of things too. But she makes these glass globular sculptures that hang from the ceiling. And I think my work would look amazing with hers. So I'm expecting the show in New York, I guess. I mean, I've kind of not digested it yet because I've just been worried about these commissions. And I finally got the thumbs up, and then they need to dry. So yeah, I guess I've got that going on.
That's cool as hell. And also I'm really excited because I'm going to be in New York. I know I'd be in New York in August of 22, so I can go to the show. I'm excited. I was
I
gonna
think that's, yeah, July, August.
that'll be cool as you know, fuck. Cool as
Cool
fuck.
beans.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask, you said that you used water media with these, and I'm going to ask for more details, like what are the media or what is the medium that you're using for these? Unless you don't want to tell us.
I just use, acrylic for as long as I can until it gets to a place that I can't paint in acrylic well enough to, use it. And I just prefer oil. It's the way I paint. And so I use the acrylic for as long as I can. And then I switch over to the oil to get, the layers going. But
Right.
the early layers are water-based.
Okay. And I mean, just as a little shop talk, I don't know if Art Guerra paint over there on 13th Street, the alchemical. Have you checked out their urethane 40 instead of the acrylic base? They have I've been using a lot of urethane, which is totally different. It's very lends itself to layers and transparencies and glistens. It's a lot like resin in its own way. I just mentioned
Text
it.
me the name of the stuff.
Absolutely, I shall. Write it, but I have to write down to text you, or I won't remember that I was going to. The people can out there.
I use a lot of liquid and Galkid as my chosen painting mediums. So I go through paint pretty slowly. I also make my own paint. I have all my own pigments over here.
I love that we're walking around your studio with you.
So this is,
Dry pigments, are you grinding?
dry pigments. Dry pigments.
Do you use a muller to grind your paint together or something?
I do it the lazy way. I
What's
just
that?
I have some vehicle, like say Galkid, in the jar, cat food can, and then I take however much pigment and I mix it in. And I know that each pigment has different tint strengths.
Mhm.
So you have to, know that about the pigment before you dive in. You have to be very well acquainted with it to get what you want. Otherwise, you end up making a lot of junk,
Right.
a lot of ugly colors.
You're actually preaching to the choir in this one, because I use all kinds of components. I think that the painting that we both do is very alchemical, because
Yes.
I don't use formulas. When I make paint, I make the paint while I'm painting, and then I'm done. The paint is gone. I have no idea how it was made. I don't really want to make it again. You had to be there kind of thing. Are you like that too?
Yeah. I mean, I have things repeating forms, but people are like, how many layers did you put? I just make up something. So I don't know. I'm just sitting there counting layers.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that doesn't really seem like my job. And over there's this many layers, and in that part, there's that many layers. And then over here, I mean, it's not just like 7, but I just pretend like
it's 7.
Oh, 7, 10.
7
Yeah.
over here, 10
And
over
people
there.
are satisfied with it.
Right.
Huh?
I said 7 over here, 10 over there. I actually usually charge by the layer.
Yeah.
How many layers do you want? Those are
Mhm.
great. So I don't know. I don't really notice how long we've been chatting. Feel like yakking some more? You feel like you got enough that you
We've done 26 minutes.
How you
Do
feel?
you have everything you need?
These are video creative conversations, just like the way both of us paint. It's like we start and then at some point we know we're done. Do we know we're done? I have nothing to ask. How about you? Oh, you're frozen, but it's a very nice freeze.
Right.
There.
Sure. I feel self-expressed.
Excellent. I want to thank you. I know I've been wanting to do this with you since I decided to do these. So thank you for your time. Thank you for
Thank you
the,
for having me.
oh yeah, and I love, I like this kind of showing the world how we do. This is wonderful. So thank you so much. And I'll send you the Vimeo link that you can download it and use it for anything you like as well, if you want.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure, my compadre in artistic arms, as it were. Onward and upward, dear. Say bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.